No worries. Maybe we can do a quick start on the introductions.
Yeah, it's mine. Yeah, it did. It looks like they're offline. It might as well go.
Okay.
And said that she's installing the software now.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Uh, I think that, half an hour should be enough. But let's see. Uh, I think that, half an hour should be enough. But let's see.
Well, very much.
Uh, I think that, half an hour should be enough. But let's see.
Well,
Oh, what? I'm here. Okay, sure thing. Who's sharing the screen? Is it me or him right now? I'll see if you want to see. All right, just a moment. Okay. Are you sharing now? Okay.
Good.
So what we've made is a platform for voters to become informed, and it like helps decide who you're like trying to vote for. It's called Informed, and the problem we're solving is that politics are too confusing and controlled by money. So what Informed does is, actually, every U.S. citizen is expected to vote, and they expect a fair election without corruption. Is there a fair way to choose the next leader of the free world? And Informed enables voters to pick who they want to vote for, not who the lobbies tell you to vote for. And what the platform does, oh, sorry, it's I decided to show like who we are. We're just like normal Americans who love this country, and we believe that like democracy is the best form of like government, and we want a government for the people, by the people, and of the people. So we've created a platform that enables voters to become informed. Basically, you answer a few questions, and it tells you who or which candidate best fits your needs and desires. In the past year, over 13.9 million people voted in the U.S. election, but many studies have shown how ill-informed the actual voters are, and our product helps to fix that. And every year, there's over $28 billion spent on political lobbying, and we're trying to make politics money free, and voting should be fair for all, rich or poor. And another crazy fact is that only 1 in 1,000 people can name all the First Amendment rights, which is crazy because if you're voting, you shouldn't like be well informed. And yeah, informed voters make informed decisions. And that's it.
So the reason that I came up with the project, the idea, is our recent election. As you know, went to Donald Trump. This is the second time in United States history where a presidential election has been decided not by the popular vote, but by the Electoral College. The Electoral College is set up through the actual candidates that are put through local and state elections, and then there's also the super candidates, but mainly the candidates from the local elections. And I don't agree with that system. I think it's very corrupt and easily manipulated. So what I've come up with is that way where the user inputs their how they feel on a certain topic, and it matches them to candidates that feel the same way they do, and it tells them to vote for that person. I really got this idea because recently there's she's in the House of Representatives, Kristen Jacobs. I grow kratom. It's one of the things that I do. I'm very pro kratom, but it's her third year putting legislation out to ban kratom and make it a Schedule 1, which means it's a 3 to 5 mandatory minimum sentencing. It would also say that there's no medical benefit to it. And I've spoken to a lot of people. I know people that take it for medical reasons. I take it myself, and what she has done has very much infuriated that community. So when I found out that I was very lazy, so I voted Democratic this election. I voted straight down Democratic lines. If I had known that she was anti-kratom and going to put in legislation once she got into office, I wouldn't have voted for her. And I feel like that's a lot of our population. They just vote straight down party lines, like states like New York, California. They go straight down exactly how they feel on the topic, and that is who their candidate's going to be. So I thought of a way to make the populace more informed of who they're actually voting for. And that's our product. Any questions? It is a website. Yes, it is. I do, yeah. I don't. I'd have to switch computers and do like screen sharing. I could send you what I have, like pictures. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. A lot of the most people, the five main reasons people don't vote. Number one, it's number one reason is they feel it's too hard, or they just don't have the time. The second reason is because they don't know who they're voting for, which is our issue. The third reason is that they don't care. The fourth is that they don't have actual way to vote, like voter ID laws that are pushing them. That's a whole another topic. And then the fifth one is they didn't know who to vote for. So we're targeting that second demographic and that fifth demographic. We can't help people get to the polls, but we can sure tell them, and show them who they might want to pick. It is. Yeah, I'm doing it through polls. I don't know if you guys can see my screen. I don't know which screen you can see.
No,
Yeah. It's all right. It's all through polls. I built it through WordPress, so they have great polling systems through there. I don't know if you're familiar with Total Polls, but it's been working really well actually. And then from there, I've just been, building the design around the actual candidates themselves and mocking up some of the local elections. I'd love feedback.
yeah, if I
Yeah, but I'm
sorry.
very curious about a couple of things. So first of all,
Sure.
um, what's the general goal that you're trying to reach with this? Do you want to make money? Do you want to change the world? Do you want to change American politics? Do you want to oust Donald Trump?
No, not an informed populace is an informed Like knowledge is power. When a populace knows what is going on behind the scenes, they're more inclined to do something about it. Like, let's see, a great one is medical marijuana. Medical marijuana has been a fight in almost every country in the world. Um, Germany recently they changed their laws. Canada changed their laws. Germany actually as of last week. But as we've seen state from state in the United States, the more the people have become informed with the issue, they've been changing their ways. Last election that went in Florida, we almost won. We had 59.2% of the vote. We needed 60% of the vote to pass the law for medical marijuana. Now, it passed this election by 70%, and that is just because of the knowledge in the community getting to the people.
To vote.
You
needed
60%
and
to vote to pass
part
the
of
law
the
for medical
infuriating
marijuana.
part is, I don't know if
Now,
you're
it
aware
passed
of
like CBD oils that do not contain THC, so they don't get you high. But recently, as of 2 weeks ago, the DEA mandated that it is now a Schedule 1 drug, which means these cancer patients, these people with AIDS, Crohn's disease, are now federal credit. That's the goal. Exactly. Exactly. If people knew what was going on, they might actually do something about it and change.
But if it's a website
Mhm.
and it's about informing people, then there is very tough competition like Wikipedia. And you're talking about polls, and polls are not about informing people, they are about
Well, the
measuring
poll is
opinion.
the reason I went with polls. Polls is a great way to get the data that I need to match people with the actual candidate that I'm going for, that they'd pick. Because without that user-generated data, they're just as good as looking it up online themselves, which if you've ever tried to like find out what a candidate actually votes for online, it's very ugly websites from like the 90s, or they're government sponsored. They're not very pretty and they're not very user friendly, so the average consumer is not going to go to them. If it's easy for them, that's just making it more accessible to the actual user.
I see that, but if you do a poll and you match people with a candidate they should vote for, then basically you're creating a robot that makes the decision. What's I don't see how you're informing people then. You're basically making the decision for them.
Yeah, I'm making it easier for people to have a candidate that closely feels. Like I said, with Kristen Jacobs, if I knew she was anti-kratom, I would have never voted for her.
And is it possible that with this system you would change the way politics works? I mean, uh,
I'm
you're
not.
talking about the American democratic system, which is
Mm,
sort of outdated. Um, would this thing change the rules there?
Not at all. No, I mean, the information's out there. I'm just making it easier for people to get it. If it does, that'd be great. But I don't expect, a miracle to happen in our country.
Okay, so you have this tagline, make America smart again, which I think is kind of cheeky and also very funny and really cool. So I like that. But but the goal is that people will not make uninformed votes anymore, and that's it.
Exactly.
And what do you get out of it?
uh, well, I mean, having an informed populace, not voting in laws that are just not going to benefit me, not at all. I mean, if anything, I would probably go to the people that are already have similar websites and either try and implement it through there, or I would contact, uh, the actual campaigns themselves, see if there's something I could do with them to get money from them, or um, I probably wouldn't go advertising, only because I think that ads definitely affect how outcomes come out, especially in like news. Um, exactly. Yeah. I, I'm sure there are non-for-profits out there that would be, willing to jump at it. There is a very similar website that I actually do applaud it. It's not doing what I want to do, but it's very well structured. It's called isidewith.com. It's very nice. Like the structure of it, it looks very nice. It's just only for whether you wanted to vote for Trump or Clinton, and that was it. There's no, that was it. So, though my scope is a little larger, I don't plan on doing a large scope for this, for this project.
No, I think Walter like covered it mostly.
Cool.
Who are you asking?
Hey, can you hear me? Give me 2 seconds and I can go one better and put some headphones in. 2 seconds. Hey, how's that? Can you hear me? Okay, sorry about the deep breathing because I just ran up the stairs. Okay, so we had a team of 2, and it's the John team because we had John and Johnny, a guy from South Africa, and I'm from the UK. And right, let me know if you can see my screen. Hold on. How do I do this? Can you see my screen? Okay, so our team, after throwing a few ideas around, we decided to go with creating a chatbot that delivers a tech trivia quiz. It's like a pub quiz for tech trivia. And this is our basic website at the moment. It's not quite live yet, but we have if you can see this, we have a table, like a leaderboard table that brings live data from our SQL database. And basically, so if I show you we've been building this chatbot using FlowXO, and it has a few integrations it's live with Twitter, it's live with, it brings in questions, and it's live with our SQL database, which is here as well, which basically updates a leaderboard based on how people are doing, and also displays on the website so everyone can see it. And it uses people's Twitter handles. And when someone finishes the quiz, it will ask them whether they want to, for us to share their score with the world on Twitter. And if they say yes, the chatbot automatically posts the score to Twitter and encourages other people to play as well and try and compete against each other. So it's basically a bit of a minimum viable product at the moment, but I can show you a quick example here if you can see this. So at the moment we just type go to start it. It asks us a question. We can type an answer. So for example, I can give an answer like this. We have different types of answers. We have typed answers. We have one where we can select a multiple choice. And we also have, I don't think this is another typed answer, but we also have a logos round where it shows us different logos for different companies, app logos and company logos in the tech industry. And you got to choose multiple choice of what the logo is, which is pretty cool. And we also have images of famous entrepreneurs. So you have to say who the entrepreneur is. And we've got loads of different categories. I think we've got like general knowledge, we've got current affairs, we've got logo round, app logos, we've got loads of different things. And when the final product gets released tomorrow, you should be able to choose a category as well. So it doesn't just keep going forward. But at the end, it adds up your score, adds it to the database, and then pulls the live score, the highest score back right at the start to say, this is the score you're competing against. And then if you get the highest score, it will say, well done. And then your score will be the highest to compete against. And your score will go onto the leaderboard if it's one of the highest scores. Can't show you much more of the website at the moment because it's a bit raw. We're still building that out because we've been working on the main questions. Let me just have a quick look. yeah, that's pretty much it. It's still a bit raw at the moment. We've got more questions to add. We've got the categories to build out. We've got the website to complete with the SQL integration. And also, we haven't built the Twitter feed yet. But if anyone's got any questions, I can answer those. But it's pretty raw at the moment. But it's going to get better.
That's very good. I do have some questions.
Okay.
First, do you sign in with Twitter? Is it
No, see, we were looking at doing some sort of authentication, but with the software that we're using to build the chatbot, we can't. It doesn't allow integrate authorization, which is a bit awful. It should do, but at the moment, there's just a question at the end that asks you to give your Twitter handle. When you do give your Twitter handle, there's some validation, so it makes sure that there's an @ sign, and make sure that it's less than 15 characters. But there's no actual proper authentication. So, for example, someone could put an @ sign and a random word, like a bad word or whatever, and it would actually tweet out with like @ whatever, which is a bit of a problem. But the software that you're using is quite limited in that respect. But obviously, if it was something that we could actually build from scratch, given enough time, we would build in better validation and some authentication. Yeah, for for both of us on the team, it was both our first Foundler hackathon. So we were like, we want to do something fun. We want to do something that both of us can do. And also, our third member didn't turn up, so we both actually got a marketing background. I do a little bit of coding, so I know like SQL and stuff like that. So that was all right. But neither of us are programmers or developers. So we were like, okay, what's doable for us with a marketing background? And then we were like, well, let's just make something like chat based. So that's good fun, and that's how we got onto the idea, really. Okay, so yeah, good question. To be fair, we're actually, because of the time constraints, we're using something called FlowXO, which is basically it's a bit like if this then that, or and things like that. So it kind of uses logic. It's like a logic tree that basically, here it says when the quiz starts, set the score to 0, ask some questions, and then further down after all the questions, it says get the Twitter handle, add the score in Twitter to the database, which uses MySQL, and then retrieve the highest score, post the highest score, and then our website obviously just uses MySQL queries to query the database and get live scores. So we're just using software and a little bit of PHP and MySQL. Yeah, this is an HTML website that I've got open on my Atom. I have I have a knowledge of HTML and CSS and a bit of PHP, a little bit of Ruby, but we kept the technology pretty simple for our first hackathon. There's not a lot to it. It's pretty raw. I actually own my own hosting company, so we just host it on that. But we bought the domain name for about £9 or about $14. So we've got. I can show you the. It's going to be on techtrivia.guru. So it's going to be on this site when it's all up and running. Yeah, this is actually a bootstrap site. So basically I just went and found a pretty simple. This is actually like an app, Twitter bootstrap theme. So I just took that and just changed it a little bit, but it was pretty straightforward. The actual site's not the heart of it. The actual logic of the chatbot's the heart of the project, really.
Well, just a quick question.
Yep.
What are you going to do with this? Are you going to make money? Are you going to use it as a gimmick for your hosting company? What's the goal?
Oh yeah, so actually that's a good question. There is actually a goal. We're not going to monetize it at all. We thought we just wanted to do something quite fun, a bit just to make some people laugh and have fun, basically, and a little bit of a social thing because it can be shared automatically and get a bit of viral growth, maybe. But there is actually the original idea came around from my teammate Jonathan. He is from South Africa and he is setting up some actual in real life pub quizzes about technology in Cape Town and Johannesburg. And basically, he's got his own site that he's trying to get 30 signups, paid signups to turn up to this pub quiz. So we thought what would be a good idea is with the sort of organic growth that it could get through the automatic tweets and things, we could direct some traffic to his site to try and get him some signups. But the only limitation of that is it would have to be in Cape Town or Johannesburg. So obviously it's a bit limited, but that's one of the...
It aligns with my next question. So what sort of validation have you done already? Are you planning to do this weekend? Anything apart from what Jonathan is doing?
No, not really. Like I said, it was just we're looking at making something quite fun. Once we get more into these hackathons, we might make some sort of project that we could monetize. But we were going for something that two of us could manage in the 48 hours and something fun, break the ice a little bit. We didn't know each other before, so I think this kind of achieves that. I don't think you always have to set out with huge goals. But I think this is quite a little fun project that we're happy to share with everyone. Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, we're all right with it. It's early days and we're pretty happy. He's a nice guy. We're really happy to work together. So it's good fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's thanks guys. I've enjoyed this.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Brilliant. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you.